guys, thanks for all the comments last week, which helped me figure out what to talk about this week because it's viewer's choice and I'm doing what you want me to do. The most popular thing seemed to be, how do you read so many books while still being a student? So I thought that I would go over that. There were some other really good ideas though, like your favorite books of 2012 so far. I really wish I could fit both of them into this video, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So here are my 5 tips for being a book blogger successfully while also being a student, or something like that. My number 1 tip is to eliminate time wasters. Don't be a procrastinator. Do you like to go on Tumblr? Stop going on Tumblr. Anytime you find yourself doing something that's really unproductive, think about what you could be doing instead. Could you be doing homework? Could you be reading a book? Could you be writing a review? Oh, maybe you should do that instead. I know this seems like really obvious stuff, but it takes a lot of willpower to pull yourself away from Tumblr or Twitter or whatever your addiction is. But if you get rid of those time wasters, then you'll have more time to do other things like blog. Tip number 2, I tell this to a lot of people, is section off a designated reading time every single day. My reading time is an hour before bed. That time I am reading and I'm doing nothing else. I am in bed, in my pajamas, reading. I've also read that looking at illuminated screens kind of keeps you awake, so reading an hour before bed is actually better for you than checking your Twitter feed before bed or going on YouTube before bed. This designated reading time is when I do most of my reading, and it's really a huge help in terms of getting books read and also sleeping well. I know a couple people that have tried this and I think they've been successful, so I would recommend that you do the same, especially if you're a busy person. Tip number 3 is to schedule your posts. Make sure that you have a kind of backlog of stuff ready just in case something happens. Take a look at your syllabus. Do you have a test coming up? Make sure that you don't have to be doing blog stuff, that you don't have to worry about that, and you can focus on your test. If you keep track of your syllabus, you can tell when the bigger bunches of homework are going to be, so you can kind of plan accordingly to not have to blog as much during that time, and then blog more when there's a lighter load. I'm a huge fan of writing out all the homework that I'm going to have for each class so that I know how to schedule my time. How do you get ahead of schedule? That's where tip number 4 comes in. Weekends are your friends. Weekends and holidays and breaks, and those are just the best because you can just read and read. Over spring break I read about 5 books, I think, and it was just glorious, and that put me ahead of schedule quite a bit. So take advantage of the time that you have off. If you're not doing things with friends, read or blog, I don't know. And tip number 5 is find a support group or someone that can tell you to get your butt off of Twitter when you should be doing homework, or you should be reading, or you should be eating, anything like that. If you need someone with a lot of willpower, you can definitely tweet at me. I am really good at making myself stay on task. That's just one of my... It's one of the things that I really like about myself, is that I have a lot of self-control, and I think that it's a really important skill to have if you want to balance both this huge thing, being a student, and another time-consuming thing, being a blogger. So I hope those tips were somewhat helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any more questions, and I will see you next week.